Good morning, everybody. Monday has come round already. I hope you've all had a really lovely weekend, and I hope that you're all getting through this weird and wonderful time. I'm sorry I didn't do the FaceTime live last week. I felt very discombobulated. I don't know whether it was the universal energies. Many of you know that I'm sensitive to energies. Whether it was the Schumann frequencies, but Monday and Tuesday I slept most of the day. Wednesday still didn't feel too great, to be honest with you. And then Thursday, obviously, I found out that a very, very dear friend of mine had passed away, which completely knocked me sideways, as a few of you know. It was a real pleasure to write the tribute for him. And Still the Wind Blows. It just, I don't know where it came from. I feel that I've had a lot of inspiration recently, which has been really nice, actually. So I'm just going with the flow, but obviously being a hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and I've been told many times I overthink things, which I don't know. I think we do need to think things through. It was the energies that just put me flat on my back, or whether I just needed a rest or recalibration sometimes. It was certainly not what I was expecting. I was just steaming along, and I've really quite enjoyed the kind of, isolation, really, because I love reading and I've been writing the new book and just doing many, many different things. So I'm kind of making the most of it, but maybe that's in my personality. Maybe that's just what I do. But some friends, my friend Rebecca, who I met in Bali, has been so kind with me. And she did, I don't know if you can just see that there with the light. Maybe that will be better. She recommended this book for me called The Search. And it's absolutely amazing. And when I received the parcel from England last week, besides a parcel of chocolate from Chocomore from Paul Williams, the sense of appreciation when you're in isolation is very, very, very powerful, especially when you're not feeling very well. So, Wednesday I went out for a little walk just to get some fresh air more than anything. And it was just far too much for me. I really felt that I struggled. I walked like an old lady coming back, and I just felt very discombobulated. And, the gratitude to be able to get back, the gratitude to be able to just curl up into bed and just go back to sleep when I got back. But, I've said so many times on these Facebook Live sessions, it's all about appreciation. And I was grateful that the week before I'd made a huge curry and I got quite a few bits and bobs in the freezer. And there was kind of no warning for why I felt so. Luckily on Saturday I'd walked down into town and I nipped into the supermarket and got some extra bits and bobs. And sometimes, without knowing, how often do we listen to our intuition? And I was just so delighted that I had food in the fridge, food in the cupboards, and I didn't actually need to go anywhere, because obviously at the moment, I know some of you were in England, some of you were all over the place, some of you were in Bali, and Australia, but the thought of standing in a queue before I could go in the supermarket did not appeal to me at all. The other thing is here, when I went out on Wednesday, some of the restrictions had been lifted. So it was just so nice to see people busy in their hairdressers. And there's more of a buzz in town. There's more life, people are smiling more, which was really nice. So bit by bit, I've just been building it up if I felt well enough to go out for a walk. So yesterday I did about half an hour, and my legs felt a lot stronger. My bum's a bit sore this morning, but hey ho. It was so nice just to be able to go out, just to be able to go by the church, and it was just a deep appreciation again for physical health. And you know, my brain had felt like I had cotton wool in there last week. So on Saturday, it was wonderful because I actually awoke, and Saturday, for the first time, I could actually look at some notes that I'd made the previous Sunday on the book, because Peter's asked me to write a book about balancing energy, clearing black magic, keeping your house energy positive. It's not feng shui. Many of you don't, you know, maybe I use feng shui intuitively, but it's not something I teach or use consciously, particularly. But you know, just how I balance energy, just bringing positive energy in and things like that. So I was struggling with it, because so many of you know that much of this comes so naturally to me to actually teach it and then actually to write it down, because I am a person who uses my hands so much when I'm teaching, and you can't do that when you're writing a book. So it was proving to be a challenge, and I know I was getting frustrated with it, but it's incredible because during the time when I've just been kind of sleeping and flat on my back, or certainly resting, things are processed. I spent some time on the phone with my friend Tony on Saturday and Sunday, and we were brainstorming a few things about the book, and I'd given him the details that Peter's asked me to do. And what was lovely was it just spurred on that energy, and we bounced some ideas around, and it was just really, really lovely. So yeah, thank you, Tony, for that. It was really appreciated. So in true morning thoughts, I picked two of the cards this morning. These are dream cards, and this one says, there's always a way if you're committed. And I'd made the decision before I felt a bit crap last week. I was going to finish the book regardless, you know. And I think sometimes when we remain committed to something, because how many times is it so easy to just go, oh, fuck this for a game of soldiers, I'm not doing this, you know. And it is so easy to just give up. There's been times when I wanted to give up, and you know, some days just seem endless, but we just have to stay with it, and it's worth it in the end, you know. As long as you feel it from the heart. It's not about feeling it from the head. It's not about satisfying the ego. You know, we do things because we want to do them, because we feel it's right, and it's our intuition and maybe our soul and our heart that's guiding us. So I'll read this to you. Maybe it'll inspire a few of you. If you're committed to your cause, no obstacle is too big. You will always find ways to overcome what previously seemed impossible. A deep sense of commitment is the glue that will hold you on track when things become tough. Once you are totally committed to what you have set out to do, the universe will start to organize things to come your way, which will assist you in achieving your goals. And of course, when you look at law of attraction, positive mental attitude, that is definitely the case. So, yeah, I'm going to do this FaceTime and then have maybe another cup of tea and just do a little bit more brainstorming, and then I'm just going to crack on with the book. So I don't know what time I'll be doing the FaceTime lives in the future. I know I did a set time before, kind of 11:11 English time and 12:11 Swiss time. So I'm just going to go with the flow. I just want to share with you as well. Excuse me. When I heard that my friend had passed away on Thursday afternoon, you know, it's a very vulnerable time, the COVID virus, because unfortunately that was what got the better of him. And he was fit and healthy, and he was relatively young as well. And bless him, you know, he was gone within 2 weeks. And in one of the last messages that he'd sent me a rainbow and said, I'll see you on the other side of this, and we'll continue with our chats. He was a spiritual writer as well, and the friendship was just lovely. We shared everything and anything, which is, great in spiritual circles. And I know I cried for at least an hour on the phone to more, and I cried on the phone to my friend Ted as well. I was absolutely bereft. But isn't it humbling when we kind of go back to basics and we look at what is it that we will be remembered by, And Tony said to me, make yourself a hot chocolate and just sit as if you are having a hot chocolate with him, because that's what we planned to do when I went back to the United Kingdom. He was reading my books, and we were going to have a kind of meeting where we discussed books, spirituality, and many, many things. I've known him for many, many years. And, just the honour of having people in our lives that we can share things with, that we can share commonality with, that we can have a laugh with, that we can have a conversation with. Someone where there is no judgment. We don't have to agree on everything. I mean, in spiritual circles, there's so many different vantage points. Some people say all roads lead to Rome, We all have our own choices. But most people, not all people, there's a lot of people around spirituality who have egos and all the rest of it. But most people within the spiritual circles are generally less judgmental. And I was so looking forward to having a sit-down chat with him and a really good catch-up, because obviously I've been away for quite some time. And obviously it wasn't meant to be. And many of you know that I do the mediumship, and, I do send spirits around and things. And I did feel him here, which, still left me in tears, because we still can't have the physical touch, And just physical touch, just the physical hug or handshake, or just somebody rubbing your arms or whatever, it's so important. And if I'd have thought that for 7 weeks I would be here in Geneva with my friend Alice, I've seen her 3 or 4 times during this time, and of course being in an apartment block, there's a few of the neighbours that I say hello to. But predominantly, I'm on my own, and yet I've never felt on my own. It hit home when I lost Damien, because, you do realise that you're on your own. And I spoke to my sons in the UK, and they both said, "Are you okay, Mum?" And I was like, "No, I'm really not okay." And, Nick just said, "Mum, just come home," And I was tempted. I still haven't made that decision as yet. I mean, there are people here I certainly wouldn't go without saying goodbye to them, and I've been coming here for nearly 8 years, and the plan was to maybe make a successful go of it here, but obviously everything's kind of thrown up in the air now with the coronavirus. But at least we have life. At least we have air to breathe, food in the cupboards, clothes on our back. And many of you know, first thing in the morning, I write in my journal at least 10, maybe 20 things that I appreciate. And it's just so important to appreciate everything you have. My friend Tony, and many of you, and my friend Ian as well, and Helen, and my friends Peter, so many of you have offered me support, through the loss. And I have to say it's really appreciated. My friend Daniel rang me on Saturday to see how I was, and I nearly cried. The eyes started tearing up, but I didn't cry. But it really hurts when we lose someone. For all that we might be spiritual, for all that we know the soul goes on, blah de blah de blah, it still hurts. It still sucks. I remember when my granddad died many years ago, and my granddad was my hero, I looked in the mirror when I was brushing my hair the morning I'd found out, I knew he was going to go. I was the last one to see him with my mum on the previous evening, and he was gone within an hour or 2 hours. So I kind of knew, I'd intuited in his energy field, his aura had really dipped, because that's kind of what happens when you're about to pass over, and Grandad had always had a lot of light around it. But, it was kind of one of those moments where I thought, well, if I tell Mum that his aura's dipped and he's going to, kind of pass over at any time. I mean, he was 86 and it was expected to a degree. Would she have believed me? We've spoke about it since, and she said, well, yeah, we wouldn't have left, but maybe he didn't want us there. He'd waited all day for me and Mum to go, and we gave him hugs and everything else. And I know he was eating a meal and he started choking on a pea, and I just sat him up in bed and was stroking his arm and patting his back and just bringing him back, because it's horrible when you choke. And I'll never forget the Reiki, the healing energy that was thumping through my arm into his back. And maybe he just needed that to make that transition to the other side. But either way, we could go on and on. Should I have stayed? Should I have told Mum? Blah, blah, blah. He knew what was going on. He knew where he was going. He knew he was going for a higher peace. And, we've still got to go forward on the physical plane. And in the morning, the day after the day after when he passed, when I'd had the phone call, Mum rung me, and I looked in the mirror when I was brushing my hair, and my aura was really dark with shock, stress, trauma, missing my granddad, bereavement, the usual. And I felt shit. And I wasn't a qualified homeopath then. I didn't even know about homeopathy. So, if any of you have had any bereavements or any shock, stress or trauma, arnica, unless you're on warfarin, is one of the main shock remedies. So I was taking bucket loads of arnica, and Ignatia is another one. So I took quite a few of those, chamomilla as well. And it did help, but obviously the shock was huge. But I didn't know this when I lost my granddad. But what I did know, and what was very lucky, was that I'd already done Reiki. So straight away I got on the phone to Diane, my Reiki master, and she was just divine. And I said, please, can I come over for a healing? I look like shit. I feel like shit. And bang, I just went for healing later that day, and I was back on song again, and I was able to cope with it better. So, we often forget the basics, and I spoke to a friend last week about taking care of ourselves. And, many of us as healers are so good at taking care of everybody else, and we forget number one. And my friend Gary Plunkett, who many of you knew, we recently celebrated the anniversary of his death, and we celebrated that with cake and a cuppa, which was wonderful. I know a few of you joined in the party. But it's very sobering when we lose someone. For those of us left behind, like I say, whether we know that, that they live on, or they can kind of mediate between whatever you call heaven or source or whatever, or, to be here with us on earth. But of course the physical contact is the thing. I used to have so many conversations with my granddad and my grandma, because she lived on for many years after he'd passed, and any problems I had, they always had an answer, or they always had a listening ear. And Damien and I just shared lovely conversations, spiritual conversations. And through all this coronavirus, Tony Johnson, I have to say, I'll hold my hand up to you, because you have kept me sane. It's lovely to receive texts from people. It's lovely to receive phone calls. Peter Sanderson's kept in touch every day. Caroline, they're on the French side, so I can't see them at the moment. My friend Daniel sent me texts. And, my friend Tracy, who's on the other side of Switzerland in Bern. And many of you have sent me wonderful messages. And I really want to thank you for that, because it means so much. On that note, before I forget, I know many of you know my iPhone, the storage is full. I was in 3 WhatsApp groups, and the pictures and the photographs and everything that kept coming through, because I already had a lot of photographs from India, Nepal and Bali, that I hadn't put on the laptop because I should have done and I didn't. The phone won't restart or do anything at the moment, but this is why I'm on this one. Luckily, I had another phone. It's about deep appreciation, because when I was in Bali, my friends Nigel and Sulis set this phone up for me, because I'm not technical, as many of you know. And it's just going back to appreciation. People come and go in our lives, People come for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I know many of you on here I've known for many years. Many of you on here I've known from other lives as well. So I'm not going to get into a debate about past lives, you can believe it or not. And I've had so much deja vu and so much clarity, and met so many of you, and we remember exactly which lives it was from, that, for me it's real. So it's a personal thing, I understand that. And of course, when we have our religious beliefs and conditioned behaviours. Okay. Hello, I don't quite know what happened there. The Wi-Fi here can be a little bit strange sometimes. But we all have our belief systems, and we don't like to shake the tree as such. We feel very discombobulated when someone threatens our belief systems, because, we believe that they keep us safe, when actually they're very limiting, because we don't have an open mind or an open heart. And it's about listening to our intuition every single day, and it's about understanding and listening to our experiences as well. So, it's very sobering when we lose somebody. It's kind of makes you wonder, who will kind of, I don't mean it in a kind of negative way, who will be thinking about me when I pass away? What will I be remembered for? I mean, Damien was a writer, and his book is safely at my son's house, and I just said to Nick, please make sure it's safe. I've got 3 little granddaughters there who could quite happily scribble all over it, bless them. And I know Nick's very vigilant, and his wife as well. But, that book is going to be more dear to me now than ever before. And, my sister-in-law had put a beautiful comment on Facebook at the weekend. It's going to be a big, big party when you come back to England, and when we can all get back together again. And I know Tony went to see some mutual friends of ours yesterday, which was just so nice. And just to be able to have a hug with someone, just to be able to sit and have a conversation, sit and have a meal, sit and have a drink, it's a real honour, it's a real privilege. And again, it's back to appreciation. So sometimes it's good to look at who is in our life, why they are there, what they are bringing to us. And even those that maybe have gone, either physically passed away, or like I say, people come for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes we have to let people go. Sometimes we don't want to let people go. Let's face it. Sometimes we have expectations, attachments, conditions with people for many, many, many reasons. We're all human. But, on that note, if somebody, that you maybe need to let go of, if you're struggling to let go of them, sometimes it's good to write down the things you want to let go of, or sometimes it's good to just brainstorm what you want to get rid of, within yourself. Sometimes you want to be around someone and it's not healthy, or you want to be in a situation that's not healthy, or various different things. But if you write it down, and then obviously safely, for goodness sake, at the moment, all the emergency services are busy, and just burn it. Sometimes you can bury it in the sand, or bury it in your garden, or rip the pieces of paper up, maybe put them in a flowing river or something like that. But listen to your intuition. I think burning is one of the really, one of the better ways to get rid of something. And it's about knowing ourselves. And I listened to a talk yesterday by Satguru, who's quite great. He's all right. And he was saying that we need personal responsibility and personal awareness, which is obviously, you know, my book From Stuck Duck to Hummingbird. That's where that came in, because it's personal awareness, self-responsibility. And he was saying that without personal responsibility, we have no freedom. Now, you know, a few years ago, I wouldn't have understood that. It would have gone, you know, straight over the head. But if we don't understand who we are, how we react to things, and what makes us tick, what makes us different to other people, and we can accept our differences, because, you know, many of us are different to other people. We're all different, but yet we're all joined by the golden thread. You know, we're all one. But just for today, you know, especially as it's been such a sobering week because I haven't felt very well, and losing Damien really knocked me completely. And it hadn't been too long that we were celebrating Gary Plunkett's death, his anniversary of 2 years, and you know, I was with a group of friends eating cake. So just for today, you know, cup of tea in hand, hot chocolate, coffee, whatever. I mean, even if you want a bottle of wine, I don't care. It's up to you if you want to drink wine or a gin and tonic or a Bloody Mary or whatever. But, you know, here's to friendship. To all those living, to all those that have gone, friends and family alike, thank you for all your supporting messages. And I really appreciate all of you. And, you know, I'm really grateful for all of your support and all of your kind words. And many of you I've spent hours and hours with, you know, going walking. Some of you I've known for many, many, many years. One of my closest friends, Julie, she and I have known each other for about 30 years. You know, we were pushing our children around in prams years ago. And her daughter was 30 yesterday, and the camaraderie that brought, and the precious memories. There were photographs on there of her children and mine when we used to take them up to the... We all had our rainy day coats on because it was throwing it down. But you know, if you can laugh in the rain, if you can laugh when you've just lost somebody, and you can, that's a genuine smile, by the way, not just, you know, the proverbial mask, in the light of the fact that many people are wearing masks at the moment, which I refuse to do at the moment because they don't work anyway. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. You know, I love to be able to see somebody. I love eye-to-eye contact. I love to be able to watch the lips move when somebody speaks. And wearing a mask is so, I don't know, it just feels wrong. It just doesn't feel right at all, you know. But that's my personal opinion. So, you know, but I'm talking about the proverbial mask. We all put masks on. I'm brave, I'm this, I'm that, you know. And I kind of wondered, you know, did I tell you guys this morning that I'd had a really particularly rough week last week? Or was I going to be honest? And I thought, well, you know, I've got nothing to lose by being honest. And I just didn't have the energy to stay awake. Like I said, my head felt like it was cotton wool in there, you know. So you wouldn't have got any sense out of me in slurring my speech and various different things. But on a serious note, thank you for your support. It's lovely to have you on here. I don't know what time I'm going to be doing these in the coming days, because I'm going to crack on with this book now that my brain's working again. That Peter had asked me to write. So, I mean, it's already 8,700 words, but, you know, if I'd have been well enough last week, I would have got a lot more done, but que sera, sera. So, I just want to read you this. I always just trust that I open a page of a book with quotes, and I will read you this and then leave you on this note. So, whatever happens, have a wonderful day. So this is called the Centre Philosophy. Honesty and clarity of one's thinking, speaking the truth without judgment or blame. The willingness to recognise prejudice in oneself and replace it with truth and love. Compassion for those that have decided not to do this. respect for the right of others to form their own values and beliefs, placing greater value on learning from experience and inner guidance than on teachings of authority, basing value of a theory or technique on the verifiable results it helps one to achieve, being open to results rather than attached to them, taking personal responsibility for one's situation in life. And again, it's back to that old chestnut, personal responsibility. Unless you've got children, the only person you're responsible for is you. And, I was responsible for me last week, and I needed rest, and I needed to grieve, I needed time out. And writing the verse, "And the wind blows," I might put it back on again and share it across to my Facebook wall again. It makes a huge difference. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Oh, and before I forget, actually, last night I was watching Diva and Mitten, Diva Primel and Mitten, and they were amazing. They were just so incredibly wonderful. And I was just sat on the bed singing the mantras, and then they sung the most beautiful one that really touches me. And then when I look back through the timeline, there was the one, So Much Magnificence, and I know for a few of you that's one of your favourites as well, and I know many of us have gone to watch them live in Manchester or Nottingham or wherever they performed. So, thank you to Diva and Mitten, because they do I think it's a morning meditation. I need to check the time. I was hoping to have a look last night, but I was tired. And, the mantras they do at night, I think they're on at 9 o'clock. Maybe one of you can put a note on here after for all of us. But if you haven't seen them live, wow, mind-blowing. They are incredible. The energy that they bring into a session of chanting is out of this world. They are very, very, very special people. And of course, seeing energy fields, seeing the auras, it's just beautiful. The two of them are so in love. And it's a genuine unconditional love. And it's a genuine perfection, really, between them. And they just bring that beautiful divine energy down, which makes such a difference. I think I've listened to just about every one of the songs, and usually when we go to a concert, people are saying, "But you know every word," and I'm like, yeah, because I love the music that they do. And many of you know I love music anyway. So, have a wonderful day, guys. Do something special. It's bright sunshine here. I think it's going to be between 23 and 25 degrees. So I'm going to crack on writing the book and have a little walk maybe this afternoon. Maybe this afternoon I'm going to be fit enough to walk into town. And if I'm not, I shall enjoy the park. But either way, just lots of love to all of you, lots of real hugs, lots of just genuinity, and this won't go on for much longer. If restrictions are being lifted here, I know they're being restrictions are being lifted in various different places. Let's pray that we take the learnings from this in the nicest possible way. We take the learnings from the friendships that we have. We take the appreciation from the friendships we have. And do take care of yourselves, Try and eat healthy. I know many of you are doing yoga and Tai Chi. So I just wish you well. Whatever it is you choose to do today, just do it with love, And when we do everything with love, it makes it so easy. So yes, although this book is a challenge, or it was, maybe it's going to be easy today, I'll let you know. I'm going to do it with love. I'm going to do it with love and kindness, I always remember my dear friend Brian said to me, Mary, you have a passion about everything. You have a passion about your work, your children, your grandchildren, your family. You have a passion about writing. You have a passion in your singing. You have a passion in your relationships. And, just find that passion within yourselves and really feed it and anchor it. And, if you come across a stumbling block, as I did with a book that is really challenging me to write, just do it. Just get that commitment, get that drive, get that energy, you know, that fire in the belly to do it. So good luck to all of you. It's the start of a week. It's the start of a new month, you know. We're in May, and it's my birthday in a month, so I really hope that this lockdown is over. But at least I can get out for cake anyway, so that's okay. But do take care of yourselves. You know, I know many of you are embracing artwork. My friend Mel sent me some beautiful, beautiful works that she's done. So anyway, a big hug from me, and at some point I may well see you as and when, and you know, I will be coming back to England at some point. I know my granddaughters keep asking me, when are you coming back, Grandma? When are you coming back? So we just have to pray that this lockdown has maybe done its work. Maybe made us all appreciate things a lot more. Maybe appreciate each other a lot more, our families, our friends, the food in the cupboards, you know. And just take care of yourselves. So namaste, everyone. And thank you for watching. I hope I've inspired you in some way, shape or form. Bye.